Hey everybody, Dr. Ben here. Had been asked to make a video on the science behind the COVID-19 vaccines. Figured I'd start with making a video on the Pfizer vaccine. I had made a video on the Moderna clinical trial data back when it was still underway and the drug had not been authorized for emergency use. Now both Moderna and Pfizer have. We'll go over the emergency use authorization for the Pfizer vaccine as well as the study that was published. And this is not a video endorsing or unendorsing the vaccine. This is really to just go over some of the information and the science behind it, and then you can make a decision on whether or not this is something for you. I really have no say in the matter. I just want people, if they're going to make a decision, it should be an informed decision, okay? And so you should be watching this video, you should be reading these documents on your own, you should be looking and listening to what other people say, get many opinions, and then form your own opinion for, choosing to do or not do medical intervention is an important decision and I want to be informed one. So I'm providing my 2 cents, take it or leave it. Okay, so we'll look first at the emergency use authorization document on the Pfizer vaccine, okay? And now what's an important distinction here is that this is an emergency use authorization by the FDA. It is not an approval. Authorize and approve are different words. This drug is authorized for emergency use. It is not approved. And you say, it even says, this vaccine may prevent you from getting COVID-19. And it says it may not protect everyone, okay? And then it says the Pfizer BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine is an unapproved vaccine that may prevent COVID-19. There is no FDA approved vaccine to prevent COVID-19. Both this one and the Moderna one have an emergency use authorization, and authorization is not the same thing as an approval. It says here, this drug is not approved by the FDA. Take that what you will. The FDA does have a good track record of approving safe drugs, not all the time. For example, Vioxx was pulled off of shelves. And so we don't even have an approval here. So take that as it may. It says here that we are authorized for individuals 16 years of age or older, and that you should not get the vaccine if you have had a severe allergic reaction to a previous dose of the vaccine, or had a severe allergic reaction to any ingredient in this vaccine. Now, what are the ingredients in the vaccine? Well, we look at them here, mRNA, and then a bunch of inorganic compounds that we can read through, but most people aren't going to know what these are. And so you're really not going to know whether or not you're allergic to any of these ingredients. But if you happen to be, that might be a reason to not get it. So we move on and we say once again that the Pfizer BioNTech vaccine is an unapproved vaccine, okay? And then, so what are the common side effects? We list them here. Then it also says that there's a remote chance that could cause a severe allergic reaction. They don't give us any numbers as far as what that chance is. Is it 1 in 10? Is it 1 in 100, 1 in 1,000, 1 in 10,000? That would be nice to know, right? Also says that the duration, these may not be all the possible side effects, and that serious unexpected side effects may still occur. This vaccine is still being studied in clinical trials. If you experience, okay, and then there's also something else here I want to point out. The duration of protection against COVID-19 is currently unknown, okay? So if you experience a severe allergic reaction, call 911 or go to the nearest hospital. Then you want to report things to VAERS, the Vaccine Adverse Event Reporting System. This is a website run by the government. It's been down most of the week, but that's where you're supposed to report your vaccine adverse events, okay? You can also report them to Pfizer, but they probably won't care because they don't have any liability under the PrEP Act. You can't sue them if this drug harms you. Okay, and now it says, are there any other vaccines for preventing COVID-19 besides this one? There is currently no other approved alternate available for prevention of COVID-19. So that's right, there's a Moderna one, but it's not approved. It's emergency authorized, so there is no approved vaccine. They like to say this a lot. They really like to remind you that it's not been approved by the FDA. Can I receive the vaccine with other vaccines? There's no information on this. We haven't done the studies. What if I am pregnant or breastfeeding? You should discuss with your healthcare provider. Well, that's interesting because they never study vaccines in pregnant or breastfeeding populations. They don't really have the data to say. So your healthcare provider should tell you, we don't have the data and don't know. That would be the only honest answer, as opposed to get it or don't get it, because they simply haven't studied it. Okay, now, will the Pfizer vaccine give me COVID-19? No, it does not contain the virus, so it can't give you COVID-19. Interesting thing to postulate, because people have been reporting getting it after getting the vaccine. So let's see. And then lastly, what is the Countermeasures Injury Compensation Program? The Countermeasures Injury Compensation Program is a federal program that may help pay for costs of medical care and other specific expenses of certain people who have been seriously injured by certain medicines or vaccines, including this vaccine. Generally, a claim must be submitted to CICP within 1 year from date of receiving the vaccine. So, what's this mean? Well, you can't sue Pfizer if you're harmed, but you can file a claim with the government, and then your and I tax dollars will pay for people's vaccine injuries. Because God forbid these pharmaceutical companies who are swimming in piles of cash should have to pay for something if they cause harm. No, that should be on the taxpayer, you and I. It makes perfect sense, right? So now let's look at the study. So we have the study, and we'll just go through the key points. The results, right? A total of 43,548 participants underwent randomization, of which 43,448 received 2 injections. About half got the drug and half got the placebo. 8 cases of COVID-19 in the drug group, and about, I think it was like 162 in the placebo group. They also mention that, and I'm trying to find it here, that basically safety data was studied over about a 2-month period. So we got 2 months of results. Let's see. Oh yes, safety over a median of 2 months was similar to that of other viral vaccines. Well, that's not a very long time to study safety. If you look at something like Viagra and many other pharmaceutical drugs, they're studied for 4 to 5 years after these are given. Now we have, at best, a few months of data. The clinical trial for these is ongoing. Like if we look at the clinical trial, it says that it is set to primary completion will be August of 2021, and then total study completion date will be in about 2 years, January of 2023. So the study is ongoing. We have the data that we have, okay? And so if we look at results, we see that in each group of about 17,500 people, and this was infections after 7 days, okay? Number of cases after 7 days of receiving the second dose. So if you got COVID-19 before you got the second dose, or within 7 days of the second dose, this was not counted in the study as a case, okay? Which is interesting. It's like, why would they exclude that? Can we see that data? Where is that? That's a little bit fishy to me that they would have this cutoff of 7 days after the second dose. If you came down with COVID-19 before then, and it was happening more in the vaccine group, you might conclude that there was some sort of causal relationship, but they conveniently left out that data and looked at what made them look good, which was 7 days after the second dose. All right. And so we see that there are 8 cases in the drug group and 162 cases in the placebo group. So that means that by vaccinating about 17,500 people, we prevented about 154 cases. Okay. So that means that you need to vaccinate about 114 people to prevent 1 case. Now, if we take some basic numbers, we know that the case fatality rate in the United States, and it varies in other parts of the world, of people who got the disease, what percentage of them died, is about 1.7%. So that means about 1 out of 57-ish people who contract the disease die from it. All right. Now, if you do the math, That means that if you need to vaccinate 114 people to prevent one case, you need to vaccinate about 6,700 people to prevent one death. Okay. And so we still don't have long-term safety data. We don't know what happens in the long term. This is a brand new vaccine, brand new technology. It's never been tested on humans before. It's been in development for a long time, but we don't know. We don't know what happens when you inject somebody with RNA, mRNA that's supposed to change their DNA. We don't know the long-term effects of what that could do. So my advice is proceed with caution. If you think the benefits outweigh the risk, go for it, shoot it up. But personally, I'm gonna be waiting for more data. I'd like to see more data, longer term outcomes before we before I make a decision on this. That's just my personal opinion, but do what you will. Hope this was helpful. Share this video if you thought it was. Thanks for watching, guys.
I have a special gift for you. The Autoimmune Recovery Blueprint is everything I wish I had 10 years ago when I came down with an autoimmune disease and doctors couldn't help me. Condense it down into a 12-page ebook, yours free when you sign up for my email list.